spending was on the rise too, and really helped to lead to an increase in the deficit as well. For the 210 fiscal or financial year, which started last October, the total deficit more than $251 billion. President Obama's administration predicts that number will hit $1.5 trillion sometime this year.
Recovery and Reconstruction, leading the agenda with President Obama met with Haitian President Rene Prevost yesterday. Haiti, of course, still recovering from that massive earthquake that killed more than 200,000 people, devastating the Caribbean nation. President Prevost thanked Americans for the help that has been sent to Haiti and also for what he called the psychological response, which he said made Haitians realize they weren't alone. Earthquake victims are still in need of food, medicine, and shelter, President Obama said. Those needs will be made worse when Haiti's rainy season starts in the spring. But he promised that America's aid efforts are not over. U.S. President Obama said, as you declared during last month's National Day of Mourning, it's time to wipe away the tears. It's time for Haiti to rebuild. And to you and to the Haitian people, I said today, as you embark on the heavy work ahead, you will continue to have a steady and reliable partner in the United States of America.
A group of educators make a proposal that could have a direct impact on how you learn. We're talking about academic standards. Right now, each state can write its own academic standards, but there's a push for national standards, meaning students all around the country, K to 12, will be learning the same concepts at the same time. That's what this proposal is about. It's just focused on the math and English, and it's not set in stone. Individual states have to decide whether or not to adopt the new standards. Some are moving in that direction, others aren't getting involved. Texas, for example, didn't take part in the proposal because the governor argues that state should decide what students learn. If this national standard do go into effect, it could mean big exchange for textbook and standardized tests.
Recovery and Reconstruction, leading the agenda when President Obama met with Haitian President Rene Prevost yesterday. Haiti, of course, still recovering from the massive earthquake that killed more than 200,000 people, devastating the Caribbean nation. President Prevost thanked Americans for the help that has been sent to Haiti and also for what he called the physiology response, which he said made Haitians realize that weren't alone. Of course, victims are still in need of food, medicine, and shelter. President Obama said those needs will be made worse when Haiti's rainy seasons start in the spring, but he promised that Americans say aid efforts are not over. As you declared during last month's Nation's Day of Mourning, it's time to wipe away the tears. It's time for Haitian to rebuild. And to you and to the Haitian people, I say today, as you embark on the heavy work ahead, you will continue to have a steady and reliable partner in the United States of America.
The danger of texting while driving is not a new subject. We have talked about this on our blog several times throughout the school year, and we have gotten hundreds of comments from you. There is a new campaign, though, that's trying to raise awareness about the issue with one question. Think about the last text you got, and then ask yourself, is it worth dying for? The campaign is called Texting and Driving, It Can Wait. It features the final text message that young drivers got before they died. When it comes to this issue, we have heard a lot of the statistics. In 2008, nearly 6,000 people were killed in car crashes that involved a distracted driver. More than 500,000 people were injured, and people under the age of 20 have the highest number of distracted drivers who were involved in fatal crashes. This new campaign is aimed at the same age group. The head of the company recently spoke how they came up with the idea. The regional director from AT&T said, "We asked customers at a focus group to take a look at their last text message, and I encourage everybody to go do this and really put it up and take a look at it and, ask yourself the question, is this message so important that I will be willing to get in accident over or potentially harm myself or others?" And so, that was really the foundation of our program, and what people said to us pretty much was no, it's just not worth it, I can wait.
The danger of texting while driving is not a new subject. We've talked about this on our blog several times throughout the school years, and we've gotten hundreds of comments from you. There is a new campaign, though, that's trying to raise awareness about the issue with one question. Think about the last text you got, and then ask yourself, is it worth dying for? The campaign is called Texting and Driving. It can wait. It's featured the final text message that young drivers got before they did. When it comes to the issues, you've heard a lot of the statistics. In 2008, near 6,000 people were killed in car crash that involved a distracted driver. More than 500,000 people were injured. And people under the age of 20 have the highest number of distracted drivers who were involved in fatal crashes. This new campaign is aimed at that same age group. The head of the company recently spoke about how they came up with the idea. Stephen Hodges, regional director from AT&T. We asked customers at a focus group to take a look at their latest text messages. And I encourage everybody to go do this and really put it up and take a look at it and, ask yourself the question, is this message so important that I would be willing to get in an accident over or potentially harm myself or others? And so, that was really the foundation of our program. And what people say to us pretty much was no, it's not. It's just no worth it. It can wait.
A group of educators is making a proposal that could have a direct impact on how you learn. We are talking about academic standards. Right now, each state can write its own academic standards, but they are pushing for national standards, meaning students all around the country K-12 would be learning the same concept at the same time. That's what this proposal is about. It's just a focus on math and English, and it's not set in stone. Individual states have to decide whether or not to adopt the new standards. Some are moving in that direction, others aren't getting involved. Texas, for example, didn't take part in the proposal because its governor argued that states should decide what students learn. If this national standard do go into effect, it could mean big chance for textbook for standardized tests.
A group of educators is making a proposal that could have a direct impact on how you learn. We're talking about academic standards. Right now, each state can write its own academic standards. but there's a push for national standards. Many students all around the world, the country, have